we give honor where honor is due. I want us with a big round of applause. We clap as we welcome our major coaches, Hilda and Team Sabiti.
So good to have you guys. Thank you so much for coming. Clap for yourselves. I would even say hug yourselves. Thank you so much for coming. If I were there, I would hug you. At least the first people, I gave you a bit of high fives. But if I were there, I would really hug you. Thank you so much for coming. We really, really, really appreciate. Now, I speak too much sometimes.
I know.
And and if I have a partner, a spouse, a co-presenter, the love of my life, Mr. Handsome.
Thank you.
He's here
Now,
with us.
let me first put something right. I don't know where it is written that flesh is bad. Why are you losing weight?
No, he keeps telling me, you know, African men, we don't like
We like meat.
very small, that we... No.
No, yeah, we like meat. Okay, I'm a typical African guy.
Uh-huh.
I don't like bones.
It's okay.
So
we will
I'm
deal
not
with
in
that when we
support
come
of-
to a comfortable weight. We will deal with that when we come to a comfortable weight.
This is comfortable, guys.
No.
Don't you think?
But so good to have you.
Thank you.
And we're ending the year.
Stronger.
And ending the year stronger.
Yep.
And even beginning the next year strong.
Yes.
I think what we're going to do, because we've had, how many of us have been blessed by the different coaches? Or have been, how many of us have jotted down something that we think, you know, it has really helped us? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Coach Morris, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Coach Exota, thank you so much. Coach Mole, Coach Zai, Coach Marjorie, Coach Caroline. These are my tribe. These are my people. They belong to me and I belong to them.
Yeah.
And I love them with all my heart.
Yeah.
People that are committed to bring transformation to the world.
Exactly.
Coach Valeria, Sanyu Sokulaba.
Yeah.
Coach Mary. Good to have you. And happy anniversary. That was November 19th. Kanji kugambe ko olwaleero. I love you. And thank you so much for showing up and being committed. I don't take it for granted. And God does not take it for granted. Wow, thank you so much. Because apparently whenever you come close to me, I get to know your name, I get to know what's happening, but I don't want to do that right now. I wanted us to start from a point of one of the things that we shared in the videos that we shot, but we never got to actually talk about, was, and it has been hinted on about God, but one of the things that we decided, and that should have been end of October, to start, was to start a prayer chain. Tim and I, every morning, we take 2 hours praying, and we decided that we are going to be on the altar praying for us and the people that are impacted by our lives until the end of the year, and that is helping us finish strong. I believe it's a really, really strong point. I don't know what you learned from it or how you perceive it.
I will tell you, you're proud if you can't pray.
You're proud if you can't pray. That means you're telling God, I can do it on my own.
Then number 2, I can't associate and be close to a prayerless person.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, for lack of a better word, I despise a prayerless person. Because
that is strong.
99% of everything that you are is God. You are wasted, you are finished. I told my wife, for our lives to be in shape, we have to pray. For your kid at home where you are not, it's only prayer.
Yes.
For the things, they talked about businesses here, and they distinguished between self-employed
and
investors and business owners.
Yes.
Where you are not, only God is watching over your business, watching over your wealth, watching over everything that you love. So you cannot take prayers for granted. So I told Hilda here that unless we pray,
there are certain things that will never change.
That will never happen in our lives. I told her that I still remember so many years ago, in a very small room, completely dark, in meditation. I was a young boy who believed in power of prayer. In that room, no lights. I used to love putting off the lights and have my time with my God, where I'm only and only meditating. And guess what? In those meditations, I was seeing my life 20, 30 years ahead. The things that I was seeing, I was smiling and I was happy because it was a good life.
Yeah. Even when the current situation said otherwise.
At that point, I was sleeping on a bed that did not cost more than 10,000 shillings. Mm-hmm. And a mattress that probably was about 2 inches. Yeah. But on that small mattress and that bed, I was seeing myself traveling nations. I was seeing myself speaking to multitudes.
And
I was seeing myself doing great businesses. I did not on any point allow my situation at the moment to define me. I saw great things. When did they happen? In a meditation room, in a prayer room. Now, when these things started happening, it was like a deja vu. I remember asking Hilda, it's as if I've lived this life.
I know.
And she's like, no way, Limba. And I'm like, I saw it in a vision. Why? Because it had happened then. Don't take
in
prayers.
The secret place.
Don't take prayers for granted. Any great man out there, any powerful man out there, any successful man or woman out there has a source that is spiritual. And our source is our God.
And when you say that every person has a source that is spiritual, I want you to look at this, that if the source is spiritual, it's possible it can be the evil spiritual and the good spiritual. So ask yourself, where is your neighbor getting their powers from? You know, sometimes we quarrel with people, we argue with people, but we don't know the source of their power.
Yeah.
And then they will say, like seriously, that is the source of their power.
Yeah.
But if your source is God, the protection that you move with on a daily, that the things that you didn't even anticipate or the things that you didn't know were happening behind your back, God saves you from those things. So believing big and believing in God is one of those things that you cannot take for granted if you're talking about finishing strong.
Oh, and one of the things that I saw in my visions was I was marrying a very beautiful and intelligent woman. I am serious. Sala bakonga mpasa mubi atatali intelligent.
Tewakirabako. So tuli mu deja vu. Ono deja vu tubamwagaliza. Bana oluganda luzibu. We wish you the same deja vu. But please write your questions. And how many of us can boldly, you have a question and you can boldly ask the question. I think there are many of us, so we will rush through quickly as you prepare the question so that we can receive them, so that we can have enough time with those questions. Now, Coach Nalunga, Coach Molly, I think talked about focus. Where your focus goes, everything tends to be magnified. Everything tends to be like you have focused there. So if you focus on sorrow, there is a way sorrow ezala no bwana bunayo, like okunganya buli sorrow yonna neya abantu osobola omugamba gundi nawe mpaka eyiyo njikwetikireko. You know, because you have heavily, there is a laser focus, and there is a way we love focusing on wrong things. Now we have 29 days to finish strong. That means we have to be very alert. If we are going to be laser focused on the wrong things, those are going to define the rest of the 29 days. And it's going to be wasted effort.
Very true. And then there are some people, they are scattered in life. Scattered to mean they are everywhere at the same time doing the wrong thing. Scattered to mean they cannot have that attention span to attend to one thing at a time and finish it. Now, when I said you not realizing or not seeing 99% of what you started out with when the year was starting does not mean you're a failure. It simply means some of you were so scattered and were everywhere. You know someone who starts out well? When he starts out, he sees something that takes their attention. N'agamba kansukengende nsubule ku ngato naye nga atandika bulungi nnyo So leaves this while it's at the point of takeoff and then starts the other.
The festive seasons, we tend to have a lot of drama happening. A lot of drama. And then we have drama queens in this place and drama kings. Oh, Angie? And then some of us, we are not the drama bringers, but we entertain drama. And then some of us die in our own movies or in our own dramas. So, agireta, as you should be able to dodge or walk away from anything. The older you get, the more you realize that the senseless drama is not needed in your life if you're to accomplish anything. This is when you find out, maybe there are so many parties, you go to a party and then you find that maybe your boyfriend went with another girl to that party, and maybe you're invited to the same party. Now, the maturity in you, the one that has been coming for the coach experience, should demand that, yes, I have seen. What does it cost me to shut up and ignore and walk away from here with my dignity and my respect? Because the drama queens inside of us will demand that you go and pluck off that wig. Hey. Ojigendere ya blue ya wigi. No jisika no muzunzo wa mutwe no kola. As in, so what is the gain? Do you get it? There is no gain in that. Maybe because of the festivities and the stresses around the economy, someone has said something to do where you're telling them, kakati so mupa plani achi ya Christmas. Oba mujobate mujate. You know those families, how? Oba munaja mujobate mujate. You get it? You get to be, and I think Coach Exota said it, be in the driver's seat of your life. If you're in the driver's seat, you realize, have you ever driven while doing drama? Wanji? You're doing katemba, but you're driving. Like, driving your own life demands that you're focused, demands that you're present, demands that you're not paying attention to anything else, that you are facing where you are headed. So drama, I don't know.
Exactly. One of the things that I've done, or that I've tried to do for myself, I've trained myself to lose arguments on purpose, just to conserve my mental health. I get to a place, I find an argument, she's talking about drama, and I let you win. And I feel lighter that you've actually won, because the drama is on you. If it's katemba, the katemba is on you. Because that does not change me or define me. So you should take that up. That sometimes these arguments are just draining you for no reason. Yeah. So you let them go. Number 2, you're very mature if you learn not to take things personally. Maturity here dictates that some things you should let go. And some things should not take away your smile. As in, you can still smile when someone tries to fool you, because they're fooling themselves if you can smile back. Some of the emotional issues that actually kill us is we give so much. We give away so much
power.
Someone attacks you on social media and calls you something.
And you concentrate on that.
And you concentrate on that. No
you respond to them.
No mudamu.
You even hashtag them. You expose it. You're even giving them more boost.
Exactly. You get the point? So sometimes you ignore, and that shows maturity.
Yeah. Wow. I want us to hint on this, and because I want us to respond to the questions, because I believe there is a lot more in the questions that as pertains to the mental health and all the things that we've talked about. But looking back to the past year and realizing or choosing our attitude, being positive, to say that, yes, maybe some things did not go well, but I can capitalize on what went well or the lessons that I learned from the difficult situations. Exactly. I think that is a choice that is very hard, that I want us to re-emphasize. It was hinted on, but I want us to re-emphasize that you still have the choice to just not dismiss the year and say, oh, go ansala. No. That even in the hardest of the situations, there is something that you learned, and you will do better.
A lot happens
if you have a chance.
A lot happens in our day-to-day lives. We start out on projects, but it's very easy to concentrate on what has not gone right because that's in our nature. Not to look at the 60% that you've done right, but concentrate on the 40% that has not gone right, which I think is wrong. This is what I usually do. When I start out on a project, I celebrate every victory. If I've managed to go 60% right, then I've been able to go above average. So that's a win on my side. Yes, the 40% did not happen, but that does not mean that I failed. It simply means I need to improve where I did not get it right. You get the point? So learn or train yourself again to pick lessons from what did not go right, but again, capitalize and celebrate every victory in what you achieved right. Because that's the momentum you need to start again.
To propel you into a better future. And to celebrate or give yourself the credit for every resilience that you have mastered on the journey.
Exactly. I'll give an example. My wife here started out with what we used to call her first, it was called Life Fix. Okay? When she started out with Life Fix, she advertised herself as a fixer of people's lives. Probably the project went 40% right and 60% wrong. But she did not give up. The next thing, she rebranded. You rebranded what? I don't remember. But she
to my own brand. To my own.
So when she rebranded, she scored probably 60%. At that point, she said, now I'm going to write a book.
There's a bit of strength here.
When she was writing the book, she wrote the book and named it Dreaming.
No, it was not. I don't remember what it was.
But it was
about. I've told this story before. I think it was Dream Big or something like that.
Exactly.
And then we had to go back to.
So she goes back to she did the whole book and finished it. When she brought the book and we sat down, okay, I was like, Hilda, as far as the east is from the west, so it's what you're writing from what you are.
Don't be good.
This is not you. You are not. I don't see you in this book. I don't see you anywhere in this book. And she was like, what are you saying? I said, I see a woman who is self-motivated, self-assured, out there to conquer the world. I want that to be in your book. Giving someone hope, telling someone to think about themselves and put themselves up there confidently. And she was like, okay, that seems like me. I was like, number 2, you're selfish. She said, do you mean it? I said, yeah, I know it. Because even when we get into a car and I'm watching something on the phone, she's like, what are you watching? Instead of saying Tulabe Fembi, she pulls the phone and she watches. I'm like, naturally you are. So can we turn that into something good? And that's how the deliberately selfish book came into play.
Yeah, and it's been amazing, award-winning.
So anything can happen, most especially if you can dwell on that thing a little more.
Yeah.
And if you can pat yourself on the shoulders and say, while everyone else is saying, you pat yourself on the shoulders and like,
I learned something. I picked something.
If you've been able to organize, I've seen some of the coaches here do events. If you dreamt that you're going to have 1,000 people come for the event, and probably you're having 200 people, pat yourself on the shoulder. What do you call another? So pat yourself on the shoulder and say,
I have learned.
People have been able to come. 1,000 will come.
I can do better next time.
So give yourself some credit.
Yes.
For doing something that no one else has been able to do.
Yep. Wow, that's amazing. I know when we start going that direction, we are not going to to finish. But let me go through some of the questions and we'll keep chipping in with what we prepared. Someone says that we are already married, though had little time in courtship. Kindly provide some tips. A couple, to cope with or adjust to my partner's character, behavior, because we are different. Give some tips so that we can cope. This person wants to cope. They had very little time, but now they're in marriage. They're seeing the true character traits of their partners, and they're saying, we are different. Now, being different in marriage is not bad. Because again, being the same, it's very possible that you would have gotten bored to the core. So having the differences actually creates the excitement. So it shouldn't be the other way around, okay? The only thing is you have to understand each other. Take time to understand each other. Just have it intentionally in your mind to choose your attitude and say, I'm going to choose a positive one. I'm not going to quarrel about everything, because then I want this person to be who they are, so that with time I can know who they really are and who they are not, okay? And you will find that they have repeated patterns. This does not require that you have a PhD in someone. No, it requires daily being present with that person, paying attention, knowing that what you did annoyed them, so that you can find a better way of doing it next time, or actually speaking up, being frank. And I think I've said it so many times that being vulnerable and frank in our relationship has been at the topmost to help us actually gel and even bond more and even understand ourselves more. I speak up. I don't keep quiet. But he speaks up more than even I do. I am learning to speak up, but he speaks up more than I do, and he encourages me to speak up. So that means that over the years, by now you know what annoys me. Yep. You know what puts me off.
Exactly, unless you surprise me.
Unless I kamu.
I always leave room for surprises.
Yeah, but at least by now I know what he likes, what he loves, what makes him happy. I know him. Why? Because I have taken time. So, and this is not about, let me just kambere mulabi, ndabe bichi yakola. No, these things happen while you are moving along, while you're having fun, while you are, while you are having the conflicts, while you are having your normal life. So allow yourself to have a normal kind of life in your marriage. And then do not hide any bit of you from your husband or from your partner. Make sure that you mention what puts you off. Make sure that you mention about money. If you're the kind who loves money, and if you're the kind who wants support from him, or if you're the kind who wants you to you want your home to plan together, make sure you do not hide anything, because chances are you will hide when your marriage is just starting, and then 10 years down the road, you will be a very bitter red-headed African who is quarreling and having conflicts all the time. And then you're saying, but he never does anything that I like, and he doesn't take care of me. And we're asking you, when did this start? And you're saying, but ever since we got married. So do not hide. Be yourself. Don't change yourself to be another person in order to be loved. He will love you regardless whether you are yourself or you decide to, speak up. He will love you if he is really the right person. I don't know what tips you can give.
There's something that I picked when you said there are certain things that did not happen while we were dating.
So we didn't take too much time
in the dating. Now, I don't know, and maybe the married people will help me here. I don't know when the dating stops.
It has to continue.
You date your guy, you date your girl, even when you're married.
Yeah.
You continue dating her. Because when they tell you the dating period, when did it end? Mm-hmm. Who told you that it ended? Mm-hmm. There is something that I want you to know. Marriage, the reason as to why some people get into marriage and their expectations flip is because they think when they tie the knot, the friendship is over. It's all about the law. Twalaida.
So mateka. So you must do this, I must do this.
Expectations, marriage and in friendship, zikolas it. Yet I think it should be a gradual thing. That you are moving from a friendship now into a commitment. But while in the commitment, the friendship should continue.
And even flourish more.
Okay? Some of you are more friends while dating than when you're married. Because now, when you're getting into marriage, they coach you. And they tell you certain things. And they tell you these are the things that make a marriage. I don't believe in that. A marriage is made by two people. Omukazi n'omusajja, si musajja na musajja wa mukazi na mukazi. But omusajja n'omukazi a man and a woman, okay, from totally different backgrounds, it's possible, okay, raised up, or you can be an Acholi and is a Munyankole, but you agree that obucholi ogenda buleka Acholi, obunyankole obuleke ebunyankole tusinkane mu nju eneyitibwa eyamwami Sabiti tukole obufumbo. So when you make that marriage about the two of you, by the way, kababe bana ngabaze,
they do not have a right.
They should not draw the happiness away, because I've seen couples after they have gotten the first child, okay, then the thing starts growing.
The distance.
Why? Because mentally, physically, and emotionally, the woman now has changed
in the child.
and is all invested into the child more than the marriage. The child will grow and will look for abamulenzi ajja kunoonya mukazi we, baba muwala ajja kunoonya bbaawe. Naye you will still stay with this guy. So I think that dating should be intentional. I date this woman every night.
Yeah.
Seriously, I do.
Seriously.
Hey, I do. Ntuka ne ngenda kuddamu nkukwana ebyaddala. And I don't temulaba nko Hilda ng'akwatiddwa ensonyi ne yeemoola namu ne mugamba I'm serious. And I take her to a fancy place and I pay my money ne mugamba nywa buli ky'oyagala. Bwe tuddayo eka biba birungi nnyo. It's intentional that you have to date that girl
every day.
As a guy,
every day.
Make her your friend. Now, you don't have to take her to a fancy place. There are times when I've told her tutambuleko ku kyalo nga ndi mu short ne sapatu, and we take a walk around the village while holding hands. Ne tutambulako awo, ne tutambula.
And that's even much better than going to a restaurant.
By the time we come back home, nga she's all over me. Yeah, you have to make it intentional, guys.
Yeah. No one will do it for you. Masanyu, you're waking up sleeping dogs.
The times when she was pregnant, nabanyumizaako nga ngamba nvugamu. I come back because with her she puts on a very big one. Akubyamu obwa fifi nga busatu. Fifi aluwa.
Busatu oba mukaaga.
But there was a time we were traveling with her. She was 3 months pregnant. We got to the airport and they almost bounced us. They said, you're lying, your wife is 8 months pregnant. You're
about to give birth and we don't have a doctor.
Like, you go back, we can't allow. I produced all the doctor's notes and everything, and they said, no, we can't believe you. That woman is 8 months pregnant. I was like, but I will tell you, even when she's 8 months pregnant, she's my sweetheart. She's my personal person. I make her feel special and loved. And that is my duty as a man. Please date that girl. Date that girl. Date your guy. Okay? Make her feel special.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think I've told you before that I didn't believe that there was love. I was that kind of person because I had seen so many bad things happen, and I had seen even in my own home where I come from. So my prayer was, you know what, let me just grow up, serve God, and go on with my life. But God answers prayers that we even don't pray because He knows our heart's desires. Right? So it's very possible. Make sure that you date. Make sure that you love each other. The friendship should continue and even blossom more. But one thing that I discovered about your friendship growing, I want you to learn this thing, having shared experiences. If you're writing, write down. If you want your relationship to be strong or your marriage to be strong, have shared experiences. The more I am with Tim, we know everything that we are talking about. We know each other's stories. And by the way, shared experiences does not mean that you are everywhere together. Even when literally every day we are everywhere together with him. But that we have been doing that for the past 20 years. And we have gotten used to that. But even when he travels without me, when he comes back, atandikira okuva inamu drop-ins ku airport. And he will tell you everything. And let me tell you, I will tell that story like I was there. Why? Because when he is telling that story somewhere else, or we are having that conversation now, it has become a shared experience in my head, because he yantotolede nambulira kawonvu n'akagga of what exactly happened.